I shouldn't. I got lost and then didn't have a ticket, and they were like, just let him in.
That's why we brought you up here, man.
Yeah, I look like I'm looking for my dad.
We want to shout out the Haven too in Portland.
Yeah.
This space that we're in is a lot of the artists here are in the Haven, and it is, if the camera's facing towards us, but like it is beautiful. There's live painting going on. There's LED lighting, like cycling through. There's these little displays, and you can interact with the artists as they're painting. I had a super deep conversation with Trevor over there, and this is kind of what the festival is about. It's like being able to linger, talking to all the people that you maybe have never or could never meet in your normal day-to-day life.
Well, and also, obviously they can't see it at home, but in this room, the centerpiece of this room is like a mini temple, right?
Yeah, to everyone who's in this room, the 50,000 people that are behind the camera. There's a ton of people in this room. If you guys could turn around, it's a little overwhelming. It's a little like Woodstock.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a little like I can't see all of the people. If you guys could all turn around and turn your attention, don't avert it, straight to this church and steeple.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
A beautiful church right in the middle of the room.
And then if all of you guys in the front row could take a step back.
Just move
Because
back
you're crushing
some.
the people in the front row. We'd appreciate it.
And your friends up front won't be real bug-eyed.
Yeah.
And Connor, it's okay. You can sit on Jason's lap. There's room. Oh.
So.
There's 50,000 people in 2 chairs.
Right.
Right, in the church theme.
Yeah.
Right?
So, like I said, we're all different, but we all came here for one reason, and that's to be a part of the music, to experience something different, and to have a little bit of magic in our lives. And like I said earlier, the things that the world finds interesting are not necessarily the things that we find interesting. And I think it's very strange that the centerpiece in an art space at a music festival is church-like, right? It's kind of odd.
It is. You don't see that often, but it also fits.
It fits.
It also
makes
fits.
so much
absolutely
sense.
fits.
I hear lots of people say that live music is their church. And I feel like those of us that have stepped outside of social norm and taken the journey inside of ourselves and inside of our minds have found a place that we are able to be more unapologetically ourselves.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And in default reality, a lot of people go to organized religion and church to find those things.
We both did. You
Yeah,
and I did.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind.
I never
Aaron did not?
I never did that.
It was just me.
Yep,
No,
just
I
Cam.
did, Cam. I did too.
All right, Mel
Yeah.
did too.
I think we all grow up with some type of religion in our life, whether it's like our parents are religious, our family's religious, our friends. There's something about religion that everybody has a relationship with. And being in this scene and doing what we do, talking to the musicians, that feeling and that subject of spirituality comes up all the time. What is happening when these musicians are singing these incredible sets and they're singing their hearts out and we're partaking? What spiritual happenings are going on? And we're always trying to explore that and kind of define that and talk about what that is. But there is a space, Cam, you're right. There is a space for some type of reverence and sacredness and congregation and something to bring us together. And that's what, in hopes, what we want to do. Yes, is bring our people together to talk about stuff that when we're in these other states of mind and we can't normally talk about at work on a Monday morning, you know?
It gets too heavy.
Yeah.
Depends on the job that
so
you have.
Carl. Yeah. How was your weekend? Well, you see.
How when someone asks you after this weekend, so what'd you do this weekend?
I got in touch
How
with something
do-
outside of myself.
Yeah.
I became one
like-
with the world and the universe.
I
How
mind
was
melded
your
with
week?
20,000
trying
other
to
people.
explain a DMT experience to
Yeah.
somebody or something.
Here's
tough.
here's the thing is like, all of this is my opinion, okay? I'm just going to disclaimer myself so nobody gets mad at me.
It's not fact.
What
Yeah,
Aaron
here we
says
go.
are not necessarily the reflections of No Simple.
Yeah.
Thank you, Apple.
We're sitting next to him, but I don't know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
We might agree afterwards.
The difference that I see in this and what has been put up out there is that nobody's telling me how I should experience this, the way that I should experience it. I haven't yet seen any rules beyond, like, don't be a dick around here. And that's the difference. What I'm experiencing here is wholly, totally, and completely my own trip, and I am drawing the conclusions myself as to what lines I want to draw from there. That's the difference. There's nobody standing on a pulpit.
There's no standard here. The standard is come and show up and enjoy.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that.
You don't have to.
Well, and love. One of my favorite things yesterday is when we're standing there, a guy runs in front of us, taps Aaron, and goes, "Watch this hug, bro." Yeah. Ran past us, tapped him, and went over and gave his bro a hug, and we were just smiling at us. Like, that's what it's about. The love.
You should be bragging about your hugs, bro.
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
There's the one rule that we found. Brag
Brag about how good your hugs are, bro.
Cam.
If you get anything out of today, brag about your hugs.
Cam, you mentioned that you had spent some time in organized religion.
I did.
Do you draw any parallels between the two?
I do. Yeah, I fully went to college to be a pastor. And now I do improv comedy and go to festivals and fish a lot. So
yeah,
and so a lot of arms raised.
You
a lot
won.
of fish
Some arms.
fans. There
That's
we go.
what 50,000 people look like with their arms raised, Cam.
Yeah, if someone could walk up to the mic and be like, yeah, that would be helpful.
Hey, that guy's starting the wave over there. What? Oh.
There's a lot of activity in this crowd.
Yeah, we're gonna get this crowd calmed down. No, but I mean, there's a lot of comparisons, and I think that the really, really nice thing that doesn't exist in this world that did exist in the organized religion, there's so much competition. It was like, who is the most Christian, who loves God the most, and who can show it off in those days, and that sucked. And I don't feel I don't really
not fun.
I don't really see like people out festivaling each other. It's usually like if someone is killing it, if someone looks really cool, if someone's giving the best hugs or whatever it is, it's usually just like nice. Like it's an appreciation and like I see myself, and I would love to do that. I would love to take a little bit of that energy, like, and it's giving. It's not like who's the best.
Okay, we're all rooting for each other here.
That being said, we're gonna rate who's the best festival goer in this room at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
And so
It's a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, we're
It's
gonna-
sliding based on your income.
and it's gonna be brutal great. We are gonna release some statements.
But, okay, so the positive things about being in a religious environment is like congregation. People get together and they actually do stuff for each other. They like make chicken soup, or they like pick up their neighbors' kids or whatever. And in this environment, what I see a lot of is like people doing the same thing. Like, oh man, I'm thirsty. Here's my water bottle. Oh, I broke my costume. Will you pin it? Absolutely. Like there's all these unspoken rules of kindness and niceness and helping out your neighbor that we don't necessarily implement in our real world.
Another thing that I see like a parallel, especially like in this room, is in the world, the organized religion would try and decorate the world with beautiful things. You would see these like amazing cathedrals and these beautiful stained glass windows and what are sculptures? I couldn't think of the word.
It's
sculptures. Murals.
That they make, and murals and whatever, all like paying testimony to the story or whatever. And I walked in here last night. I was like, holy shit, this is the exact same thing except like really, really cool.
Yeah, there's like humanness in it, and there's like personality in it, and there's like
Everybody gets to contribute.
Yes.
Everybody gets to contribute. Like everybody's got their own artwork and their own little vibe in their space, and it's all together.
Well, and again, it's none of this is coming from a place of somebody told me a story and now I'm drawing you a picture of it. This is all coming from I saw some shit and I'm drawing you a picture of it, or I'm painting you a picture of it, or I'm making a stained glass window of it, or I'm gonna cultivate cactuses about it, or I'm going to weave a rug about it. This is our actual psychedelic experience manifesting in the physical world in a real, tangible kind of a way, so that when somebody walks by and looks at it and sees it, and we don't have language to describe that experience. We have very insufficient ways of talking about it, but through art, we can walk by and we could see a painting of somebody else's experience, and we'll see some kind of knowing in that thing, like a remembrance. Like when you remember a dream from 6 years ago, you look at that thing, you're like, oh shit, I know that. And it's because that experience is one and the same for all of us and completely different for each one of us. And it speaks to us in really unique and different ways. And when it does, and it comes out and it manifests into the world, we can speak to each other through that without having to use words, so that we don't, like, first of all, we don't feel like we're off our nut, like, I'm the only one that's ever gone through this thing. No, you're not. Take a look around the room. Take a look at all the art that's here and the other people. And also, wow, my experience wasn't just some, like, crazy, weird ride. There may be something more to this. Let me investigate deeper.
Totally. And, like, when you can't really describe that feeling when something strikes you, and it's for you. It feels like that artist, whatever they made, whether it's a painting or a song or a tapestry or whatever it is, you feel like they made it just for you.
Yeah.
They made it for them to get their experience out, right? Like they made that piece of art so that they could get that out of their brain onto a canvas and have it being a living, breathing thing for you to come see. But they didn't, not to be weird, they didn't do it for you. They did it for them.
I think
That's kind of like
okay.
when we used to think, like seeing Jerry back in the day. He wasn't singing directly to me at
I knew
every
we weren't
show.
going to get through this without Apple
How-
telling us he saw Jerry.
Hey, have you guys all seen Jerry? Just say it right now.
Okay, we saw Jerry.
We all saw Jerry together back in the day. Yep, it was me and this crew. God,
Whatever, Cam.
good days.
Anyhow.
I was born in 1992. I missed
Yeah,
Jerry.
it's not
Okay.
fair. It's okay. It's all right, man. We love you anyway. I really feel like coming to a thing like this, for a lot of us, if this is like one of our first time that you've done something like this, you come here with no expectation, thinking like, maybe I'll find something here. And I think a lot of us, when we get to the live music experience or the festival experience, we find this sense of like community and home that we haven't felt anywhere else. And I really do believe, like, I know for myself, that first experience of walking into a Grateful Dead show and feeling the energy of 20,000 plus people all focused on the same thing, expressing joy, and then that feedback loop of the band giving it back, I felt something I couldn't get anywhere else. It made me whole in a strange kind of a way. And I knew that things were never going to be the same after that. Even in my weird 18-year-old puddled brain, I knew, like, this is a watershed moment. And I think that's what a lot of us find when we come to events like this, not even just for the first time, for the thousandth. Or
It's like a freedom of expression too. You come here and you can create a persona or embellish on one that you were working on in your life,
Yeah.
like you can be like, well, I want to be the sexy pirate tonight. I want to be the fluffy little bunny tonight. And like, it's not only okay, it's like encouraged and accepted, and it adds to the vibe of the place. Like, you see the Pikachu all night long and you're like, yes, and you like,
But if that guy's walking around in the real world,
no, well,
you're
I
like,
mean, it'd still be cool, but
it's cool to me. I'd be like, hell yeah.
right on, Pikachu.
But right on, Pikachu. But you don't get as much hell yeah, that's awesome from the world. You
No.
get it all here, and
No,
you can.
it's weird to the world.
It is a little weird.
I'll say the other thing that I love about these two that I mentioned recently too is, like, these are the greatest family reunions everybody comes together. We got friends out here right now that we don't live far from each other, but life happens. You don't get a chance to see each other all the time. And when these happen, it's the best hugs, the best feels. You get to dance together. I mean, we're always texting each other. Can't wait till we get to see each other and boogie again.
Yeah.
Just to get down, dance, feel the music.
Unrestricted time.
Yeah, unrestricted time. That's just amazing together. It's like the dopest family reunion ever. Without like I guess the drunk uncle is here, and
Oh yeah, I saw him last night. It's a mess.
they're
too.
fun
bit of the
too.
drunk
They're
uncle.
fun too sometimes.
Everyone's uncle's here this weekend.
Yeah.
That's true.
Walking
Yes.
around. It
Apple.
is. Oh,
Go
go. Oh. It is. I noticed that first day yesterday. You know, I bump into you guys. I bump into friends I haven't seen in a little while, and you give that big hug, and you know, there's big smiles. But then I noticed like huge sighs. People are like, "Oh man, isn't this awesome?" Like big sighs of relief. Like, you know, that's a physical thing that your body is making you do. Like you are
Yes.
you're relaxing. You're like settling into yourself. You don't even realize it's happening. You think you're just kind of like excited, but that's a physical thing that you should be doing every day that your body is like making you do in this space. What's up, man?
You know, I think another really amazing part of the festival experience, not just the live music, but the festival experience, especially like a 3 or 4 day festival. You go to a show that's a one-night show, you have an experience, and then the lights come on, and you're like, oh my God, and then you got to drive home and go to work the next day.
Got to find your
And,
car.
and you have to like find baseline again and get back out into the world.
Brutal.
It's not fun.
Absolutely
I'm trying
brutal.
to make it so that I don't ever have to do that, but anyway.
I'm
it
just
always
gonna
is
say-
fun trying to figure out who's going to drive and
Yeah.
where the car is,
Yes,
though.
true. But when you come to a
got it.
festival that's multi-day, you have the opportunity to have that sigh last a little longer. You have the opportunity to leave the mask down or put the mask on, whichever you prefer.
Whatever you gotta do.
Yeah, whatever your deal is, for a little longer. And to me, it cements the experience into your spirit that much more, so that when the lights do come on after the last song on the last night, and you do have to drive home, you can bring this with you. That's the point.
Yeah.
What you're experiencing here is not wholly, totally, and uniquely here. This is because we are here and we are feeling it. Your experience leaves and comes with you when you leave here. You take this trip home with you. You take the attitude that you have here home with you.
Well, and you can refer back to it too. You know, midweek, 2 weeks from now, you're like, gosh, that was really nice just hanging out in that room for a minute and just like not listening to the music, just chilling, and then going back. Like, you have these memories to refer back to as like little morsels of happiness that you can like be re-fed from later on. It's like leftovers, you know?
I think that's what's amazing about this being the inaugural festival is we're all going to be leaving. Any of our friends or crew that didn't make it to this, we're going to be doing nothing but talking it up and encouraging them to make sure they are here next year.
Yeah.
I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like already
Yeah,
on the
it's
phone with
already
my friends.
started.
I'm like, you guys.
We're telling a bunch of people right now.
Yeah. Right. Hey, YouTube, you got to get here next year.
I also think that that's kind of the point of this. If we don't like get something from our time at these things and have it transform us in some fundamental, real kind of a way that is utilitarian to bring back out with us, it's kind of a waste in my eyes. Like, okay, you had a great time. I'm all for having fun, man. Like, I'm trying to make it my job. But if we don't,
Fun
That's right.
and
what?
fun and
Help me
like
out.
whatever you're getting from this weekend, whether it's like helped
Oh,
you
I
to
see.
open
I see
up,
where
you
you're
know?
going.
Yeah,
Okay.
fun
You're
and.
getting
With you.
fun and
It's like
something
yes
else,
and,
fun
but
and
yeah.
growth, fun and networking with awesome people, fun and growing a part of yourself you didn't know that needed to grow, or like experiencing someone talk about their favorite band in such a magical way where their eyes are lighting up and like you were there, so you get to feel that. Like, again, these are those moments that are for later, you know, that you get to kind of work with.
One of the greatest things, too, that we've already experienced last night, we got 2 more nights, is discovering new music that we haven't heard before that just grabs you. And like last night,
Main Squeeze.
Main Squeeze.
Wow.
Didn't know who they were. Heard a little bit of
We got
talking
some
about
shout-outs
them,
for that.
and
They are
oh
amazing.
my God,
We got down
blew our
so
doors
hard.
off.
We got squozed.
We
Yeah.
got squozed up.
Yep.
I was squeezed.
Well, and let's give it up for World's Finest, our Portland local band.
Those guys were
that
great too.
tore it up and like kept the energy going, that like lifted it up. And you know, we're experiencing all of this one after another. It's like getting punched with like goodness over and over.
It's a goodness buffet.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
A flight.
Full of
A flight.
goosebumps. Oh.
Yeah.
And right after this, we're going back for seconds, baby.
Yeah.
I'm filling
Oh,
that plate
yes.
up again.
Well, here's the other like heady, weird, trippy part of all of this is like your entire experience, your entire life is nothing but electrochemical impulses being decoded from your brain. Like, I am totally in your movie right now. It's all yours. And if you change yourself, if you make real fundamental changes in yourself for the better, then the world outside changes, because it's all coming from in here in the first place. None of this is even really real, if that's the case, right? Like, Apple's having his own experience, Mel's having her own experience, I'm having mine. Cam's
I'm not
having
even
his.
paying attention.
Cam's over.
Good job,
Lost,
Cam.
looking for his dad.
Yeah.
Like, it's individually all singular thing. And if we change ourselves, if we have these transformational experiences at things like this, or hiking with a friend, or sitting at home, or whatever, then the world around us can start to change. When I was younger, I came from the punk rock scene as a kid, and like, I had my fist raised a lot because I saw that the world around me didn't make sense, and it was unfair, and people got the shit end of the stick a lot of the time, and the man doesn't give a fuck about us and wants to keep us down. And I wanted to kick and scream and rail against that thing. And as I got older and took a lot of psychedelics, I found that as I started to change myself, the world outside started to change along with it.
Didn't seem as angry.
No. And the live music experience was probably the main catalyst in me finding that that was the case. So if anything, when you come to something like this, if you're in that place in your life when if you're feeling like a little angsty or hopeless about the state of affairs out there, and things are super weird right now, the best thing we can do is change ourselves. And then the world outside starts to change. And I'm curious, Cam, you said earlier that like you had gone to school, you were going to school to be a pastor.
Yeah.
And now you're here looking for your dad.
That's a
And-
change.
If anyone sees my dad, by the way.
Yeah. I'm just curious, like, what made the switch for you? What was the thing?
It's funny that you brought up anger at things and rage at things. I went to school to do the pastor thing. I took all religion classes my freshman year of college. I'm surrounded by other kids my age who are also, these are kids, we're 18 years old, also learning about, scripture and other types of scripture and other types of religions. And that competition thing that I brought up earlier kind of came to a head. Like, we couldn't really have conversations in classes. It wasn't like it's not an open thing. It's not a conversation. Like Aaron was saying before, this is whatever it is to you. Like, this weekend or this day or this podcast that you're watching right now is whatever. You can take whatever you want from it, and you can make it as important as you'd like. And in those classes, it's not really a conversation. We would talk about things like leadership in the church, who's allowed to be a leader in the church. And it wasn't a discussion.
Who's allowed?
Who's allowed to be, and who's allowed to do this or that. And, like, I found myself on the wrong side in those rooms, on the wrong side of a lot of those conversations as a bird flies into the room.
That was pretty cool.
That was
Wow.
beautiful.
That
What?
was
Cool.
amazing.
That was incredible.
I thought it was going to land on the steeple.
Is that God checking in on me? Wait, hold
my
on.
gosh,
Oh,
Cam,
God.
stop it.
No. Everything's
Signs
a
and
sign. Everything's a
wonders.
sign.
Wait, was that pigeons?
And I'm just like, this is not going to work. I cannot work with this type of angst or competition or better than-ism that's going on around me. And I am doing this because I connected with people in a real way when I was younger through what I thought was like love, what I thought was like a deeper connection than like, us just being buddies here on earth. Like I thought like, we're getting in touch with each other spiritually, or we're getting in touch with like who we want to be. That's not what that was. It's not what it was at all.
Who can come out on top
It's who
after
can-
this game we're playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, the amazing race for Jesus. It's super weird. And I got so angry at that. I was so mad at that for so long. I was like, I wasted time in my life. I wasted, these years of my life where I could have been working on this or that. I've got all this creative yada yada that I want to get out. And the shift really happened when I wasn't mad at that anymore. It wasn't the shift wasn't when I left that school and decided I didn't want to, be a part of organized religion. The shift happened when it was like, that happened on purpose. That happened for a reason. I am who I am because of all that stuff. And there's things that I'm good at now because of it. Like, within religion from like a young age, I would do like devotionals, and so like,
Wait, what's a devotional?
what's a devotional? Great question, Aaron. It's like when you, great question, No Simple Roads, Aaron. We would, like, you have like a devotional book and there would be like a quote, there would be like a Bible verse with like a big, explanation or like a summary around the verse, kind of as a, how to use this in your life sort of a thing. And
Oh, how am I supposed to think about this thing the way you want me to think about it? I got it.
Exactly. And that's what that is. Right. That's exactly what that is. But in those moments when I'm a kid, like I'm going off by myself, turning off the world, turning off like, my friends. I'm going to be with myself and apparently God, but it was it was just me. But we, like
You are God.
I am God, dude. Oh shit. Oh no. Yeah, sorry. No, I'm by myself. I'm having these moments alone. I'm getting in touch with, I'm like, connecting the dots in my life, finding out what's important. And now that's just meditation for me. Now that's breathing techniques and getting in touch with myself in that way, trying to turning off my brain in that way, and getting in touch with me instead of getting in touch with this outside entity that doesn't talk.
You started thinking for yourself?
Whoa.
That's
happened
exactly
at
right.
some
No
point?
Simple Roads, Apple. I started
Thank
thinking
you,
for
Cam.
myself, and it was great. And
Well, they had to kick you out after you started doing that.
oh yeah, no, that was a huge issue. No, I kicked myself out. I walked out the front door, and there's so many things that now
How'd
I
you come
connect.
full circle?
It has come full circle. Now I'm standing in the field enjoying this music, feeling inspired for things that I'm going to take away from this festival, things I'm going to bring home with me and turn into the creative energy that, fuels my comedy stuff or fuels my onstage stuff. Like, it's not that I'm like, Eggy's not telling jokes that I'm about to lift. Eggy is out there playing a beautiful set and giving themselves to an audience, and you connect dots in your own way. You guys who are sitting here, the 50,000 of you that are sitting here, you guys aren't comedians. You have your own jobs. You'll connect the dots from what the band is giving you or what these artists are giving you and be like, I can use that in my job. I can use that in the thing, my side hustle that I'm trying to get off the ground. And it's not anything they said. It's not a lyric of the song. It's an emotion and a feeling. And that's, when I was younger in the church, I was like trying to put my feelers out, trying to find this thing as a kid. And I feel like if I didn't have that experience as a kid, I'd be really turned off this kind of stuff. I'd be like a lot more closed off and a lot more scared of myself. And when I'm at these sort of things, I get closer to myself, end up liking myself more when I leave. And that's paying dividends.
What a weird thing. Like, the world it's set up with this like structure, and people are going to these buildings and paying money and looking for this thing.
They're doing something.
And you walked out the door and like sat down with yourself and found that. But even weirder than that, at a concert.
It did, and it didn't just take one. You know, I'm still finding it right now.
Yeah.
It's evolving every day. You find it all the time, in every minute of the day. You know, I'm gonna find some more stuff later. I'm finding stuff right now, and it's a process, and that like anger took a long time to get through, and that like resentment for the church took a long time to get through. It's pretty recent. I would say like within the last like
20 minutes.
It was like right before we got on here. Apple was like, "Let it
crying
go,
back
dude.
there. I gave him a
Let
hug.
it go,
I'm
Cam.
here. It's
Oh
all
my
good now.
God.
Get over it, dude."
Well,
Christ.
speaking of letting go, that's one of the wonderful things about any type of like celestial happening is that we can gather and actually do something specific and using, like I mentioned earlier, the energy of the earth and where we're at now. And so in the spirit of letting go, if everybody just wants to listen and think about one thing up to this point, so we're 9 months into 2023, if you can find something in your head that you are willing to let go and leave at Cascade, leave at the Equinox, something that maybe isn't serving you, something that you've outgrown, something that you already did and don't need to do anymore, something that slows you down, something that doesn't make you feel good when you think about or do anymore.
We're at a really like unique moment in time in the year. If you don't know what the equinox is, the day and the night are equally long, and the energy, the earth, the axis of the earth, everything is balanced for that one brief moment in time. And it really is a good time to do some soul searching and let things go, because as you let that thing go, the equilibrium of the planet and the energy that's around us is supporting you. So when you let something go, now you're lighter, right? So you would be off balance normally when that lighter thing goes, but now the earth and the energy of the planet and all the celestial stuff, if you believe in that, or it's just I'm talking shit, that's here to support you and help you get through that time a little easier. And we've been doing this long enough now to where I have gotten in trouble enough times from Mel coming to festivals and her being like, "So what's our intention for this festival?" And I don't know.
Party?
And, yeah. Just hang out.
To party?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Find
definitely
Cam's dad.
fun and it takes you into great places, unknown territory. But when think about, like, if you're making a sandwich or if you're creating a masterpiece, that sandwich is going to be so different than just making the sandwich. And
You're manifesting nourishment.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many ways
Got to use
you
that
can look at
croissant
it.
bread.
Yeah, so
And Dijon mustard.
whoever wants to participate, I'm going to just count to 3. We're going to take a nice deep breath and just think of
Love
that
it.
word.
Wait. We've got folks on YouTube, right?
Yeah, they're going
So
to participate
you
too.
don't have to be at Cascade Equinox
No.
Festival to participate. This is not an exclusionary thing. You could be wherever you are and hang out and do this. So please join Mel.
So, yeah, but in the spirit of sharing, Cam, you're going to start first,
Okay.
and you're going to say something that you're letting go. We're all going to go. And everybody out there, just think about your thing that you're going to let go.
I'm on the spot.
Yeah,
I don't
you
have
are on
one
the
now.
spot. You let go of something. We all have something that we can let
That's
go
why we
of.
call it. That's why we have
You're-
you up here. So we throw
That-
the stuff at you first.
All right, so Cam, what are you letting go of up until this 2023 9th month of September? What are you letting go of?
You know, I told you guys that I do comedy. I make stuff on the internet. I make shorts. I do, film stuff. And along with that, there is always an expectation of what it's going to end up being. Oh, hello.
You're allowed. It's okay.
Come on
You're
through.
part of it. You're part of it.
There's always an expectation of what that's going to end up being, what it's going to end up bringing. How many people are going to see it? Is it gonna be good? I'm
yeah,
letting
man.
go of trying to make things good or make things for people. I'm making things for me, and we're gonna let things be what they be after I let go of them.
Wow.
Right on,
Hell yeah.
Cam.
Right on, Cam.
All right, Aaron.
So Mel, what? Oh shit.
Good luck, dude.
Wow,
we have to
that's a
give
tough act
everybody
to follow, too,
inspiration
Cam.
to think about the stuff in their life that they might not know that they
All
need
right,
to let go.
I got something. So when I'm doing anything creative, I'm going to not say when we do anything. When I do anything creative and I put it out into the world, I have a tendency to compare it to other people. And what I'm learning as I'm doing this longer and longer is by comparing what I do to other people, I'm not able to see the worth in the thing that I'm doing because I'm putting it up against somebody else's trip that has nothing to do with mine. Even if it's the same game, it's a completely different thing. And now I can't see the worth in my thing anymore. So I'm letting go of comparison this week.
That's a good one. Apple.
It's the thief of
Okay,
joy.
skip over to me. Throw
Nice.
it at me next. Oh,
Yes, you're next.
So, okay, that's so weird. That I haven't even talked to you guys about, but going to these things and going to shows and getting older and stuff. I'm 54, and sometimes I'm that person that feels awkward in the crowd. Like, am I too old to be here?
Tell us, people.
I'm letting that go because this, like last night, that was fun. Sometimes I feel weird being like getting up by the rail. Like, that's for young people. Well, there is no age limit. Nobody has ever put that on me in a crowd or at a show. It's myself. And what I get most often, I even got it last night, is people like, oh my God, and not even saying the age, but like, you are so fun. You were boogieing the way you were dancing. So I'm letting that shit go.
Heck
yeah,
I'm feeling,
Right
I'm
on,
feeling
brother.
like the dude that's too old. Like, should I retire and quit having fun? Fuck no.
Too old for fun?
No.
Please catch Apple boogieing out there. He is an example for how you should be.
Yeah.
He was getting down last night. Did it down.
Like, thank you.
More down.
Thank you.
More
down.
There was a guy at not High Sierra, Northwest String Summit, Apple, an old dude, like old.
Yeah.
He's
we're
like
talking
he's
old.
like in his late 70s, most likely, and it made me so happy to see that brother dancing by the rail. It made me cry, and I walked over to him and I said, "Hey man, you give me hope for later. Thank you so much." And he started bawling and gave me a hug.
I remember you talking about that and saying, bro, that's encouragement that we're going to be doing this until we're like 80, until we're no longer, even if you're going to have to wheel me in a wheelchair.
So I was gonna say,
and
Mel's
still
gonna
be
have a
we
double
see,
wheelchair.
You see that, yeah, and getting down no matter what. So no
All
matter
us
who
old
you are,
Jerry
what
heads,
age.
all of us old Jerry heads, we're gonna be out there forever, man. I'm
Mel?
not.
Cam's going to carry me in on
That's
his
right.
back. Oh.
On his back.
Yeah.
Mel,
I'll carry you up the mountain, Apple.
What
I
are
will.
you leaving at Cascade?
What I'm leaving at Cascade is the thought and the habit of thinking that I myself am not ready to lead. And
You?
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been
Every-
married to her for 25 years, almost 26. This is news for real.
I mean, I think there's a lot of things that people keep under wraps in their own personalities that are harder for them to maybe even talk about or put into words. And these are like those, when you get nervous before something, those are the things that make you nervous. Those like things that like eat at you, like you're not good enough to do that, or you don't think clearly enough for that, or you're not articulate enough for that. And so that's one of the things in my psyche that I deal with is like, no, sit back down. You're not old enough, or you haven't lived through enough, or your voice is the same as someone else's. They don't need to hear it. And so I'm letting that shit go at Cascade.
Fuck yeah,
'Cause
let's
it's
hear it for
wrong,
Mel.
but
Everybody
it's
on YouTube,
wrong.
clap for Mel.
Yeah.
Thank you. All you 50,000,
Yeah.
give it up for Mel.
Just roaring.
All right,
There
so
it
it's
is.
everybody
Yeah.
else's turn. Thank you.
So yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say it's everybody else's turn, and we're gonna do a nice deep breath, and think about it on that inhale, right? And then slowly pause and slowly exhale, and then let that shit go. Whatever that word is, or whatever that thought is, or whatever that we're letting go, exhale it out and let it be and settle into the space. to be transmuted later with this incredible festival and the energy of the festival, because that energy is going to come out and it's going to be around, and we're going to slap it out, dance it out, high five it out,
hug it out,
whatever
big
it
hugs.
out. All right, so don't worry about it just being there and getting back on you. It's going to inhale it in, that thought of it, and then exhale it out. All right.
Okay.
So on the count
let's
of
do it.
1, 2, 3, right? All right. On the count of 1, 2, 3. Take a deep inhale and inhale whatever you're thinking of leaving, letting go of. And when you're ready, exhale that shit out.
Let that shit go, bro.
We're going to do one more for good measure. Nice deep inhale. And exhale that out.
All right. So if we're talking about balance and Equinox, for letting stuff go, we got to take something home.
Yeah, we do.
Apple, what are you taking home from Cascade?
Oh man, taking home another like personal photo album and like recording of everything that happens here, the bonding further with friends, and the thing that always happens is new friendships that are created.
He's taking
Friends.
home.
You're bringing
new
home a
friends.
new friend. We're having somebody
Yep,
move
I'm
in.
bringing home new friends.
Another
Got
roommate.
more people
Cool.
moving in, and
Dope.
Darwin's got to deal with it. No.
Okay.
Everyone who becomes friends with
That's our
Apple
dog.
is coming home with Apple.
Coming to No Simple Road.
Hey,
No.
hey, you lost your dad.
I'm gonna bring my dad home. I'm gonna find my dad.
Damn.
I'm gonna bring home. This has been for me one of the coolest summers of live music, and one of the coolest summers of creating stuff on the side as well. In my entire life, and I feel like I've just been getting, like you said, like kind of snapshots and a photo album. I walked around a little bit before this podcast, just kind of I'm a huge, back in the day I listened to a lot of Osiris podcasts. Back when I lived in Chicago, I had my day job. I used to listen to No Simple Road. I used to listen to the Helping Friendly podcast, Undermine. And this is pretty surreal for me. I'm trying to act cool about it, but I'm hanging out with No Simple
Cute.
Road
We love
up
you,
in
dude.
Oregon, doing a live podcast with them
Thanks for doing that with us.
in the first
Yeah,
year of this
Cam.
festival. And so I couldn't. I mean, I just
That's
tried
sweet.
to take that in. I don't think I fully did yet, but what I'm gonna take with me is the appreciation of this summer, and like this is just such a massive stamp at the end of it. It's just
Heck yeah.
Fuck yeah, Cam.
yeah, I'm gonna try to live in this for the rest of my life. We'll see how it goes, but
Well-
I'm gonna live in it now for now.
Go-
If I have anything to say about it, this isn't the last one.
Oh shit! Hell
Yeah.
yeah!
Yeah.
I want to add one thing. I'm also going home with that bitchin' purple tie-dye dirt wire shirt that's over at the merch booth, because I mean that's a
yeah.
physical thing I'm
Hell
taking
yeah,
home. They
Apple.
got some dope merch here. If nobody's been to the merch booth, I'm a merch whore. I love it all.
Mel, what are you taking home?
I mean, I think what I'm taking home hasn't happened yet. I think tonight is going to be a really special night, and so what I'm going to take home is this, like, kind of piggybacking what you said, Cam, a awesome bookend on this incredible music of summer and summer of music.
Music of
Um,
summer.
It kind of is music of summer.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it
true.
is-
You're right.
It kind of is, but no, like just all of the experiences, seeing everybody that's here, the second live that we've done,
Yeah.
you know, and just kind of the appreciation of everybody freaking rocking it and owning their shit and just loving y'all.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
taking
guys
home.
are tough acts to
Love.
follow. Well,
I want to take some home Hawaiian food too. The Hawaiian booth's really good. All the food booths are really good.
Take
I
home a
keep
couple of those
adding-
slices
Right
of
on,
pizza.
Apple.
It's a really good slice of
I'm just
pizza.
adding the physical things now.
I got some biscuits and gravy this morning I'd like to
Oh,
take
sounds
home. Those
good
were
right now.
awesome. It's like
Go
$8.
get something to eat.
So good.
I think that realizations happen, at least for me, they happen in stages of like knowing and then further knowing that thing, and it unfolds and unfolds and unfolds. And earlier this summer, a mentor of mine said something to me. I was talking about, we appeared at Ophelia's with Andy Frasco at the end of last month, and I was talking to him about going to do that, and I was like, I'm nervous, and I can't believe this is happening, and oh my gosh, we get to do this thing. He's like, look, that's great that you feel like that, means you care, and that's really cool. but you fucking earned it, man. You earned it. You wouldn't be doing that if you hadn't earned what you're doing. And I was like, wow. And he was like, you need to own that. I was like, whoa. And putting yourself out there, this show has always been about like us being unapologetically who we are and living our lives in front of everybody for better or worse. And it was never planned. And it's terrifying sometimes to do that in front of people. And also, it's a trip to think that I actually have a voice in this community that has like taken care of me and taught me so much and made me who I am. And like, to not have imposter syndrome sitting up here in front of everybody, like, I'm taking that confidence home with me.
Hell yeah.
Fuck that.
Man.
Yeah.
I earned this shit.
Yes.
I deserve it.
Yeah.
You do deserve it.
All
It's
right.
crazy to a guy like me
Damn.
to think that Aaron doesn't feel like he has that voice in this community, or that he isn't I mean, to me, it's so clear, but it's just crazy how you don't realize what you are to people. You don't know what you do for people.
No, we don't.
Even if you've been doing it for so long, you know?
It's
All right.
it's wild to think that, and I talked about this earlier in an interview we did. The musicians that we've spoken to, all of them almost have in some way said the same thing, that they are like, can't believe this is happening to me. Like Billy Strings, like, feels like that.
Man, I'm just like Billy Strings for
Yeah,
real.
you are, Cam.
It's cool.
Yeah, you're cool. Finally, it happened.
That's what
Today's
you're taking
finally
home from
cool.
this,
Taking
Cam?
home cool from Cascade Equinox.
I'm cool now.
So,
What about that?
all of you guys out there, I want to say thank you for spending time with us. 50,000 of you came to see us today.
It's
Thank
truly
you so
overwhelming.
Amazing that you did that.
Sardine packed in here,
Yep.
but it's
Yeah.
great.
No, seriously, thanks you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
And well, wait, before we leave, think about the one thing, maybe it hasn't happened yet, that you're bringing home from Cascade. Because you are leaving something, a part of yourself, but you're also going to take something. And it's probably more than one thing, but just maybe the energy or the feeling. So think about that. What are you guys laughing at over there, Jason and Audrey and Abe?
What are you bringing home?
It's not
What,
funny.
what are they bringing home? No, I love
Seriously.
these
So
guys. I
Abe
love
did
it.
it.
No, but
It's a
this
serious
is it. This
thing.
is what's perfect about right now. This is it. So I just want everybody to think about that. And we're going to close, and hopefully this, instead of our breaths being that the music, we're going to clap, and we're going to release what we're getting, right? All right, so we're going to put our mics down.
Yep.
okay.
Everybody think about
This is
what they're
impromptu.
going to get.
I didn't know this was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Everybody think about what they are going to get from this festival. And on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Clap it out. Woo! Yeah!
Hey, Cam.
Yeah.
Thanks
for
you,
doing
everybody.
this with
Thanks
us,
for
man.
hanging out with us. And
No Simple
let's-
Roads, Aaron, thank you so much. No Simple Roads, Mel, thank you so much. And No Simple Roads, Apple, thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you, Cam. No
It's great.
Simple Road guest.
Thank you, Mr. Cam on Instagram.
And we're ready for
And wha-
tonight.
One last thing too. Thank you to everybody at Cascade Equinox for
To
throwing
Hannah.
this incredible event. To Hannah,
Hannah,
for
thank you
helping
so
us
much.
make this happen.
Yes.
And also, if you're not aware, coming up in a few minutes after us, Renegade Opera. We heard
Oh my
her
gosh.
warming up, and wow.
If you
Yeah.
want to cry
That's all I
today,
will say.
Yeah, if you feel like
Yeah.
being in tears from some amazing vocals.
if you want to be swept away,
Yep.
All right. Thanks
Thanks, everybody.
everybody.